My name is Dakota Phillips. I'm the owner of FitU, and today we're going to talk about 5 stretches that you can do at your desk. The first 2, you don't even have to stand up for. You can do them from your chair. The last 3, you can stand up for, but you can still do them within your desk area. So as you're working, usually we're seated, typing away at a computer. A lot of times we can come forward, hunch our back, our legs, our hips are going to get really tight. So those are some of the things that we're going to focus on today. Now, before we even stand up, we've been typing away all day. We're going to stretch out those forearms. Put your hands together, palms in, and you're going to rotate your fingertips down. Now, it's okay if your palms kind of separate a little bit here. Maybe you're really tight. That's okay. You're going to try to keep those palms as close together as possible. As you rotate down, you should feel that stretch up through your forearms. And if you don't feel enough stretch, you can bring your hands up a little closer to your chest. If it's too much, though, bring those hands a little bit lower down towards your seat. You can do this for, 10 seconds, depending on how you're feeling. Maybe it's less if this is brand new to you, but hold it for about 10 seconds, rest, kind of let your arms settle in, roll out your wrists, and then you can go back and do that a couple times. This you can do throughout the day, or you can do it bunched in with all the other exercises. This is a really good one if you're typing at a keyboard for a majority of your job. Next, again, we're staying in the chair. If you have arm rests on your chair, that's great. If not, you can just use the sides of your chair. Either works. I've got arm rests, so I'm going to use those, and we're going to do just a classic twist. I'm going to try to keep my knees facing forward. I'm going to bring my shoulders. I'm going to rotate around to the side. Again, trying to keep those knees, because if I twist to the side, then it's not really doing much stretch here. Again, knees forward, chest comes to the side, and I'm just lightly assisting in that twist back, trying to get my back shoulder as far back as I can, or as far back as it's comfortable. You're going to hold that for a moment, slowly come out, back to center. You can kind of shake it out a little bit, give a little shimmy, hands over to the other side, and stretch that way. Now, I would do this a few times. Give yourself a pause here. We don't want to just swing way over back to the other side. Warm yourself up to it first, because again, we've been stationary for a lot of the day. You're going to want to slowly ease in to some of these stretches and movements, because we don't want to end up worse than when we started. So again, keep that chest tall, back is straight, and you're just going side to side. After that, we're going to need to stand up. We're going to start with a little bit more classic again. We're going to do a quad stretch. So you can use your chair, your desk, the wall, anything for balance if you need it. Bring that leg up, and then you're going to focus on keeping your knee pointed straight at the floor and standing tall. So a lot of times people will think that they need to bring their leg farther back for more of a stretch. I think a lot of times for most folks, especially if you're sitting at a desk for quite a bit of your day, all you really need to do is focus on getting your hips to rotate more forward. So instead of, popping our booty out for a picture, you're rotating it under, and that's going to give you a lot more stretch in that quad. Because if I have my butt up, I feel the stretch, but it feels like I need to bring my leg back. If I tuck under, that's way more intense of a stretch on that quad. So think more about rotating your hips forward versus pulling that leg higher. Because a lot of times, like I said, most of us are not flexible enough that we need to be pulling it all the way back like we see gymnasts do. So hold for a little bit. You can decide 10, 30 seconds. This one you can do maybe a little bit longer, up to a minute, 2 minutes, but that's, we're trying to move through our day here, incorporate it. So at least hold for 10 seconds and then switch to the other side. You might find that one leg is more flexible than the other, so you might have to bring your hips a little bit more forward for one leg, but that's okay. Again, hold for what you're comfortable for. Then we're going to be using the wall for our next support. So I'm going to have one hand back and then stretching into my chest and shoulder. So you can get your shoulder closer to the wall. You can even start just totally facing the wall and then rotate away just as much as you feel comfortable. Now you'll probably feel this through your chest, your shoulder, maybe down your bicep and even into your forearm. This is going to be a good one for as we were sitting at our desk. Usually our shoulders come forward. We want to open those shoulders up, get our chest more open. So do this on both sides. Again, holding for at least 10 seconds. You can hold this one for, again, 30 seconds, maybe a minute. You can go 2 minutes if you've got that much time. And again, you're going to want to slowly come out of there. And remember, the longer you hold a stretch, the longer it should take you to come out of the stretch. If you're holding that for a whole 2 minutes, be really slow and gentle about coming out of it. Don't just whip that arm off the wall. Nice and slow. 10 seconds, you can maybe move a little bit faster, but again, take it nice and easy. So our last one is going to be a step back, kind of a reverse lunge, but really just a step and then a reach. So you're going to want to get your chair a little bit out of the way here. All you're going to do is take a slight step back. I've got my legs about shoulder width apart. They're not stacked on top of each other like I'm on a tightrope. We've got a good base here. And then from here, again, I'm going to think about bringing my hips forward, just like we did with our quad stretch. And then I'm going to reach my hands up and back. And then back. And this one I kind of like to do shorter bouts of the stretch and just more steps. So I'll reach back, and then I'm going to be really feeling this on that back leg. As I step back, it's going to be in that hip. So this is a good one. Again, usually we're sitting for most of our office day. Your hips are going to get tight. This is a really good one to loosen your hips up. Just step back and reach back. So you're going to have a little bit of an arch in your back, but we're still focusing on bringing those hips more forward. As you step back, it might feel easy to want to rotate as you do your back lunge, but remember, keep those hips square because that's where you're going to get the stretch. The whole point is not to be moving our arms up and down. The point is to be loosening up our muscles, and we're targeting our hips here. So make sure that you're really feeling that stretch in the front side of your hip. So that is going to be our 5 different stretches. Remember, we did our forearm stretches sitting down. We did our twists in the chair. We did our quad stretch, keeping our hips forward. We did our wall stretch, and then we just did our step back and reach for our hips. You can incorporate those as one unit throughout the day, or you can do them individually sprinkled throughout the day. Either way, those are going to help you feel much better after you're done at work and get you more ready to move when you get home. Let me know if you found this helpful or if you need more stretches for specific areas in the comments below. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.